Hi guys, Lights and Gear here, and we have another flashlight to talk about. This one's a little bit different from some of the typical lights that we do discuss here. I usually receive smaller everyday carry lights, but this one's of the larger variety, and it comes in this rather, or at least mine came in this rather very large box. This is a Shadow JM35 LED light. And Shadow has a few lights out there. I had not been familiar with this particular brand until I came across this one, and it is reasonably impressive. The top lumens on it is 1,800, which is certainly higher than any other light that I've experienced or had the opportunity to review up until now. So let's take a look at what comes inside the box, as well as the flashlight, of course. You have a lanyard here, which is pretty usable as a lanyard would be. You've got a little spare accessory package, which is rather unique in the sense that it has a spare lens in it and a spare O-ring. The lens, as you can see, is a reasonable size, which means that the head of the flashlight is pretty big too. This is the lens right here, see? So that's that. And it also has an instruction manual, but the problem is I can't read it. It's all in Chinese. Wish I read Chinese. Maybe if one of you gets this light, maybe you'll get an English manual, I hope. But I'm sure there are some interesting things on here that I would like to know. And some information about this light I have not been able to see online, such as what the actual lumen output levels are of the light, except for the 1800 top level. So anyway, that might explain it here in this manual, but I don't read Chinese. So anyway, that is that. And there's also a website on here which looks like an English website, but I can't get it to do anything in any browser that I've tried. So it just goes nowhere and says it's unavailable, which is unfortunate. But anyway, I have removed the light, and here it is right here. The Shadow JM35. Now lengthwise, it's only 5.5 inches long, so it's not that long. It's obviously the width and the girth of the light, which is larger than most. And the LED in here has been around for a couple of years, introduced I believe in 2013, mainly for commercial use, industrial use, that kind of thing. But they managed to put it in a flashlight, and it does a remarkable job. This is an MT-G2 LED from CREE, and actually the lens on here, the ring turns here and the lens pops right out. So of course you can use the spare lens if you want, or not use a lens at all, but I would advise you do, and it's a good clear glass coated lens, so it's pretty sturdy, but they did give you the spare one anyway. As I say, this is an MT-G2 LED, and it puts out an amazing beam, which is exceptionally bright and also exceptionally wide. You get a very wide spill on this, and the actual throw of it is pretty good. I believe that's rated at 200 meters. And let's see, the battery it takes is a 26650, which we'll get to in a moment. And the throw, oh that's right, I was just saying the throw a minute ago is 200 meters, exactly. And the battery life on high, I believe I've read 30 minutes continuously on high. Now there are springs in here. There's a spring in the head, and a spring in the tail cap, and a spring in its step. Haha. This, I believe, would mean that now the 26650s I have are flat tops. I believe you could probably use button tops as well. Wouldn't matter, but with the springs it should accept, you know, batteries of a slightly different length. If a protection circuit was on them and added a bit more length or whatever, I'm sure the light would have no problem with that. Now, here's the battery. If you've never seen a 26650 before, they're pretty big. And as you can see, this is a flat top, but it is a 3.7 volt rechargeable lithium. And just as a size comparison, here's a standard AA rechargeable. And there's the size difference. So they are pretty big. And so you know, just it's a pretty big. It's a big light, and it takes a big battery. Okay, just one of these. Now, the thing that does annoy me slightly is that there's a rattle in the tank after the battery has been installed. and that's just the way it is. Can you hear it? Hear that? A little bit of a rattle. You may not notice it all the time. Obviously, just holding it and shining it around, you're not going to notice it unless you're jiggling it. But nonetheless, there is a rattle. And the only way to operate the light is by this handy side button. It does not have anything in the tail cap. It stands beautifully, but does not have anything there. So the side button here is the only way to operate it. It has low, medium, high, and an extra high, or a turbo if you will. And I'm going to estimate that the low is probably somewhere around 80 lumens, and then, you know, increments by a couple of hundred lumens with each mode after that. So let's switch her on. And the other thing is that there's a pre-flash when it's first turned on, and sometimes during the mode switch. I don't know whether you noticed that there just flashes briefly brighter than the actual mode that you're looking at is. And again, that's slightly annoying, or could possibly be in pitch dark, but that's again the way it is. So this is low, which it comes on to immediately. There's no memory mode or anything on it. And if you keep cycling it, it just goes through low, medium, and high, low, medium, and high. And the way to get to the 1800 extra high mode is to have it in the high mode, like I'm in right now, and then double click the button. It goes off for a second and then comes back just a little bit brighter than it was originally. Now, it's hard to see the brightness in this room, but it is mighty bright, and I can't extend my arm far enough so that you can see the spill, but the spill is exceptionally wide. And if you go to my website at lightsandgear.com, you will see the outdoor beam shots, which will give you a better idea, obviously, of the brightness and the spill. That's at lightsandgear.com. That's where my written review of the JM35 is, so I would check that out if I were you. And again, you know, it's very hard to tell the brightness in here with this light, but it is exceptionally bright. And the way to turn it off is to simply press and hold the button, and then it's off. And to turn it on, just press it once. There's the pre-flash, and it comes back on in low, and then just keeps cycling. As long as you keep hitting the button, it just keeps cycling all the way through. And then a double click on high will go to the extra high mode. And that's pretty much, I mean, that's it. That's the operation of the light. That's what it does. There's no beacon mode, there's no SOS, there's no strobe, there's nothing like that. It's a fairly simple, has a simple operation and a simple simple user interface, if you will. So it is extremely simple to use. There's nothing you have to learn of it other than what I've just shown you. And but for the person who does a lot outside, the person who camps, the person who boats, the person who hunts, the person who does things like that, would certainly be able to use it for an extremely, if they need something extremely bright, and which obviously throws a good distance of light, you know what I mean? So, and I believe these, now it does get a bit warm. I've had it on before in the highest mode for about 5 minutes, and it gets reasonably warm, but that's to be expected. And I'm assuming that these funnels here, these indents on the side, will do something to disperse some of the heat. And as far as I can tell, there's no cut down on it if you're in the turbo mode. As far as I know, again, the manual is in Chinese, so as far as I know, it does not cut down after being on high for a specific amount of minutes, so you can assumingly leave it on 1800 lumens for more than 2 or 3 minutes and not have it bumped down to another mode like a lot of lights do, but that's mainly to protect the driver and the all that kind of thing. But anyway, that's it. JM35 from Shadow. Check it out at lightsandgear.com. There's a link there too if you'd like to make a purchase of it. And there's lots of batteries, flashlights, chargers, and that kind of thing at lightsandgear.com as well. And hope you've enjoyed watching this video on the JM35. Like it, share it, and take a look at lightsandgear.com for more. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.